We are here for the penultimate round of the 2017 GP4 Offline Championship season. We are here in Abu Dhabi at the Yas Marina circuit for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, where Will Neller has a chance to take his first and only title in his OC career before he retires at the end of the season. So we're here in Abu Dhabi, the 9th time that we've been racing here, the 3rd of the 3 night races that are on the calendar in the OC. Previous winners have included Jay McKenzie winning here 3 times, Joseph Willers winning here 3 times, Wade Cooper winning, and Will Neller winning the first ever race here in Abu Dhabi in 2009. But of course, Jay McKenzie has won the last 3 races here, and for him it would be very helpful if he wins here again, considering the fact that he is one of the main drivers in title contention. It is Neller versus McKenzie versus Willows in this race. And McKenzie, so far, everything is going in his favour. The lap record being set by him last season, 144.314, 55 laps, circuit length of 5.554 kilometres, 21 corners. So it's very interesting to see how this goes today. The tyres we're using, of course, will be the hard tyres. The driver of the day from last time out in Mexico was Paulino Tomaselli for once again a very impressive performance in the Sauber. Last race, of course, won by Joseph Willers on Italian Ferrari to get himself back into title contention. But here is the starting grid for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and Joseph Willers and Jay McKenzie on the front row. It's the perfect start for the 2 drivers as they are on the front row. Florian Volker 3rd position and Amar Khan in 4th. And bad news for Will Neller is he is down in 5th position with Franco Lopez alongside him in 6th. Franco Lopez, of course, being one of the drivers being rumoured to take the seat that Neller will be vacating next season. 7th place is Nicholas Gal with Joel Hutter in 8th position for Haas, a good qualifying by Hutter. On row 5 of the group we have Evan Byrne for Renault and George Roque 10th for Haas. The first time this season that both Haas drivers have qualified, well, have got into Q3, both of them. Thierry now 211th for Renault, with Julius Anderson 12th for Williams. 30th position is Michael Mocha for Toro Rosso and Rick Yan 14th for Force India. On the 8th row of the grid, 15th and 16th, we have Oliver Glazebrook for McLaren and Felix Sontag 16th for Sauber. On row 9 of the grid, Roberto Gamba is 17th and Franco Gamba is 18th, the 2 Gambas on row 9. On row 10 of the grid, we have Paulino Tomaselli for Sauber and Rella Moitian for Williams. And on the final row of the grid, of course, we have the 2 Manners of Etienne Jones and Nicholas Zorbach. So that is the grid for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And now team news for this week, and to the surprise of many, it is Kirosima De Rossa who will return to the top class with McLaren for next season, something that nobody was really expecting, or not many people anyway. So there we go. And now here on the screen is the championship criteria for that. So the main things here is if Neller wins, the title's his. If he finishes 2nd, he needs Willers and McKenzie to finish 3rd to win the title. So if one of the 2 finishes in 1st and Neller is 2nd, the title will go to Brazil, and the rest of the chances of Neller winning are on the screen. The weather for this race, to the astonishment of absolutely everyone, it's going to be a dry race here in Abu Dhabi, under the lights, 0% chance of rain, a clear sky. So let's get this show on the road, shall we? So we now have the cars on the grid. We don't have the lightning strike that we've had every year on this circuit, as we now have 5 lights coming on, the old school lighting system. 5 lights are on. And let's get right into the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and Willers has made a good start as they head towards the first corner. McKenzie alongside, and will McKenzie get beaten to 2nd by Volker? I think he might do, and yes he will. Volker has nabbed into 2nd, has he? Yes! That's a great start for Jay McKenzie, and not a good start for Volker. And as you know, Volker had actually got got ahead, but McKenzie had got back ahead. Neller's up to 4th, so he's made a good start as well, as the rest of the cars head through the first sector into the first chicane. But at the moment is Willows leading ahead of McKenzie 2nd. Volker, who had made a better start than McKenzie but dropped behind as we head into the chicane. Looks like so far everyone's got through safe and sound. Zorbach's made a good start, actually up to 18th, and oh no, and just as I say that, Franco Lopez is out on the first lap. Oh dear, and I was just saying about how he had a chance to get the Mercedes seat, but he's out on the first lap. So what's happened to him? So we're looking on board with Nicolas Gal, who is behind Lopez, heading into the chicane. And was there contact between the 2? There was there. And was there a second bit of contact? And the answer is, was there? I think there was. Yes, there was a second bit of contact. So Gal knocks into, well, Lopez 3 times in fact, by just hitting him right there. So not the start that Nicolas Gal would have wanted. But now Volker trying to get back past McKenzie for 2nd place. And he does make it through, does he? I think he does. And now Hutter's all over the back of Byrne, who both of those drivers have made good starts. There's contact into the hairpin. Hutter has spun around, and Roque's got through, and he's now going to have to let all these cars go through. Mocho was going right behind Roque there. right into the back of him, but no damage done. But Joel Hutter, trying to get past Byrne, has cost himself a lot of position and is down to last. Down into 21st. There's several cars with pit calls, so I saw there was a Manor there. There was a Toro Rosso. So Jones, did he go into the back of someone into the chicane? Looks okay at the moment. And does he make contact there? Nope, nearly goes into the back of Franco Gamba there. And oh yeah, no, he does right there. He goes into the back of Franco Gamba, and unfortunately Gamba once again gets hit on the first lap. But we saw what happened in the last race where he was hit on the first lap, and he still recovered the points, so that is still possible. This was the replay of Hutter and Byrne into the hairpin. There was the contact there, and Hutter went spinning around. Byrne kept it on the road, and Roke just about got through there. Now we look at the order. So Willer's leading, Volker in second, Mackenzie third, Nella right on his back, Carr in fifth, Byrne in sixth, Roke seventh, Mocho eighth, now Tiernan ninth, and Anderson 10th at the moment. But here is the big moment. Nella needs to get past his teammate ASAP. He wants to try and get this title done, or secured I should say, in Abu Dhabi. And here we go, Nella is making a move on the inside of Mackenzie into turn one. This is surely the move done. Mackenzie won't put up a fight, and he doesn't. Nella is through, but as I said, at this moment in time, he's not going to win the title. We look at several cars coming to the pits. Tomaselli actually had damage as well, so what happened to Paulino Tomaselli? And this was coming on the support pit straight, and he was behind the Manor of Zorbach. He was going past the Red Bull of Gal, or he tried to, but unfortunately Gal came in front of Tomaselli there and had nowhere to go. Well, Tomaselli could have easily, or he probably should have gone to the right, although Gal really defended from him. Moved over to the left there and stopped Tomaselli coming through. But I don't think Tomaselli was expecting that, but that happened. So unfortunately for Gal, he loses his rear and his front, and you don't want to lose either on an F1 car. And Tomaselli is going to have to pit as well, so not the start that he would have wanted either, having had an impressive performance last time out in Abu Dhabi. But anyway, so as everything is now hopefully calmed down, here we are looking at Glazebrook in 11th. We're looking at the rest of the order. Gamba's in at the pits, of course. Byrne in 6th. As we're looking at Glazebrook, who's under pressure from Rick Yan behind him, and Jan's going to try and make a move on the inside. Glazebrook not quite close enough to the Williams ahead, and Jan just steams past him. And oh, and that's why, because Oliver Glazebrook has got a puncher. And oh dear, it's been a dreadful season for Glazebrook, and it is continuing, of course, with De Rossa now taking the spot at McLaren. Glazebrook is going to be without a seat at McLaren for next season, and not sure whether he'll stay in the OC or not, but Glazebrook, unfortunately, his race is over on lap 2. Very unlucky for the McLaren driver as he pulls off just coming onto the back straight. So that is his race done and dusted. So here comes the Marshal in the orange colours, pushing higher car away. Glazebrook, who was running pretty high, had made actually a good start, but you can see there was the problem, and then Jan just went through him very easy. I was like, wow. Jan's got a lot of speed in that car, but it was no the fact that he had a problem. And there goes Roberto Gamba, and here comes all the rest of the cars going past him. So there we are. So Glazebrook once again out, and big question marks over his future in the OC. I mean, he's been at McLaren for quite a few seasons now. I think he's been for 3-4 seasons possibly. I think it's been at least 3. But here we are looking at Roland Moitin, who's on the back of Roberto Gamba for 12th position, heading towards the hairpin. He's in the slipstream, going to try and make a move on the inside. Roberto Gamba doesn't. No, he does defend. Does move over slightly, and there's just about no contact. Moitin almost pushing him into the corner there as Zorbach and Sontag, the two Germans, battling at the back in the OC. And no damage. Now, I don't know if Sontag made it through past Zorbach. I think he may have done. Nella looked to be going a little bit wide there. He's not too far away from Volker, but a little mistake there from Will Neller, as you can see coming through. Yep, just goes a little bit wide onto the curbs there. No harm done, but he's going to lose a little bit of the gap to Volker. And actually, it had actually gone up slightly to 1.8 seconds. It was 1.6. So Neller just needs to keep calm now, because, well, he needs to get in front of Willows. And actually, here is the battle for the lead. So here we go. This is very interesting indeed. Volker is now on the back of Willows here, and this could be good news for Neller if these two are battling, as Volker is just about in the slipstream of Willows. He's not quite close enough, so he's not going to make the move into the hairpin, so he's going to wait until the support pits as we look through the rest of the top 10. Here's Jan on the back of now Tiernan in the Renault, about to make a move for 9th position, and he's gone on the inside now. Tiernan, who doesn't really put up much of a defence. Side by side between the two. Jan on the inside, he'll make the move into the hairpin, and that is that. And does he make it through? Yes, he does. As Miguel Gao actually sets the fastest lap of the race for Red Bull, right at the back of the field. So Jan up into 9th, now turning down to 10th. Willow's still leading, but Volker is right on his tail, and Neller is going to be very happy about that. So we're looking now at Evan Byrne, who's actually closing up to the back of Armar Carr in the Red Bull here. So Byrne, I think, is on light fuel, that's hence why he's probably able to close so much. But Byrne might actually make the move on Carr here into the hairpin. He's in the slipstream. He's going to move to the left. Will Carr defend? He does move over slightly, but a little bit too late. But he's on the inside, is Byrne. And he's going to take P5 off him. Good move there by the Renault driver. Also, question marks to see if Byrne will stay in the OC or not for next season. Now Carr could come under pressure from Roque behind, and possibly even Mocho and Jan. But so far, the Ferrari's still battling. Willer's still leading, but he can't shake off his teammate, I should say. Volker, he definitely seems to be a little bit closer this time. He's not quite in the slipstream, I don't think. No, I don't think he is. Byrne is definitely closing on Mackenzie also for P4, by the way. And now Jan is closing onto the back of Michael Mocho in the Toro Rosso. And is he going to make the move on the inside? The answer is yes, he does. Mocho doesn't put up much of a defence. Scouse, it's yet another fastest lap. So he's really showing his pace in the Red Bull. Just imagine if he didn't hit Lopez on lap 1. Who knows what he could have done in this race. But as we're looking at other two Ferraris still battling, yep, Volker still behind Willows at this moment in time. Now Turner running on his own, and here we are once again, and Volker definitely seems to be closer this time to Willows. Is he in the slipstream? I think he might just about be, is he, I think? And yes, he is. He's definitely closer this time. Now Volker, is he going to make the move? He's in the slipstream. This is as close as he's been all race. Volker trying to get past Willows into the hairpin. Will he make it stick? He's on the inside, Volker. Is he going to make the move? And there's contact! And Volker's around. Willows keeps going, and Neller sneaks through. And that's great news for Neller as he actually goes wide as he tried to avoid Volker there. But that is unbelievable news. And Willows... And wait, has Willows got damage? Has Willows got that? Hold on. Has Willows got damage? I believe he... I think I saw the pit on him, and I don't think... And he's got a lot of fuel, so I think he may have got damage, Willows. Let's have a look at that again. And he does! Willows has damage. That's unbelievable. And Florian Volker could have just cost his teammate the championship right there, and could have handed it to Neller, because Neller's going to take the lead now with Willows having to pit. That is quite unbelievable what the Ferraris have done here, and oh my word, that is going to throw a spanner in the works. And you can see Neller there, you can see Volker moving as well, and Neller just manages to avoid Volker's car there, and because he did that, he went out of shape and went wide there. But there was the debris coming from Willis' car. But as I said, and Gal's got a brake problem as well. And Gal, who was going so quick on those tyres, unfortunately having to pit again. This time for a brake issue. Unfortunately, Gal's just having no luck at the moment. Oh dear me. So his chance of points going down as well. So as I said, Will Neller at the moment, if the race finishes as it is, Will Neller will be the champion. Willis having to go into the pits for damage. Car stuck by oh no, and because of Willis going to the pits, Roque spun, and Roque's been collected by, I think that was Michael Mocho, I believe, and oh dear, just a concertina effect there. But Roque is out, and Mocho's in the pits, and so is Carr, and so is Willows. That was all because Willows went in the pits. Byrne slowed down, so did Carr. Now Tyrrell is around as well at the final corner. Absolute chaos here on lap 8 of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. What drama we've had so far. And wow. So now Tiernan rejoins, and he's dropped down outside of the points. But as I said, Roque is out of this race. Very unfortunate as he was running in a promising position. Carr and Willows out of the pits. But as I said, at the moment, Neller is doing his bit, and he's not even really done anything. It's all the drivers around him that are doing everything for him. That are just helping him go towards the title. But so Roque is out, so we need to see another replay of that. But you can see there was, as we're looking at it now, there was just a concertina effect. So Roque just went into the back of Carr, unfortunately, and then as he went into the pits, lost control, and then Mocho unfortunately came right into his path. And well, I think it was unfortunate. It's not Roque's fault, I think, because it was just an unfortunate event that just happened there. So Carr went into the pits, and then Mocho behind, as Roque spun into his path. You can see here it is from Mocho. You can see all the cars, and then Roque just spins right in front of him, and nothing that Mocho could do. And then now Turner, I don't know if he hit any debris or if he made a mistake himself. And let's have a look as he comes into the final corner. Did he make a mistake or did he hit debris? I can't see any debris. And no, it looks like now Turner just spun on his own, really. So it was all of his own making now, Turner. And that was a very weird spin, that one. Went through the corner a little bit wide there, and then just lost control, went by himself. That is very, very strange. But now Trimlin goes around and costs himself the points positions there, and that allows several cars in front of him to move ahead. But anyway, here is Evan Byrne now on the back of Mackenzie. This is for the podium, so Byrne trying to get past the Mercedes of Mackenzie. He's all over the back of him, and he's surely going to make the move down into the hairpin. Byrne on the inside of Mackenzie, and Evan Byrne could take a legitimate P3 at this moment in time. He's on the inside of Mackenzie. Has he got it done? No. Has he? Yes. No. Has he? Yes. And yes, he has. He's gone around the outside. What a move by Evan Byrne. But now Jan is on the back of Mackenzie, and Mackenzie himself, who's on the back of Byrne. So this is a good battle for P3. And they're all both trying to go around each other. It's now 3 wide almost. Jan almost getting squeezed off by Mackenzie there. And it was so fortunate there was no contact right there, because that could have been ugly. And look at the replay once again. So Byrne was on the inside of Mackenzie. I wasn't sure if he had completed the move or if Mackenzie would hold it for the inside line for the next corner, but he did. He held it around the outside, I should say, Byrne, and Mackenzie couldn't make a stick. And then, of course, Mackenzie had Jan all over him, but Mackenzie was still in the slipstream of Byrne in front of him. And you can see it's all making the move 3 wide. That's a great picture right there. And Mackenzie nearly got past by Jan, but fortunately didn't. But Byrne did manage to complete the move from 3rd position. Now here is Jan, who's going to try it on Mackenzie down the back straight. This is one of the best overtaking spots on the track, and he's surely going to make the move. He's in the slipstream, and Mackenzie's just really struggling on his tyres. This is not good news for him either with regards to the championship. But Jan just about trying to go around the outside, but backs off, and he locks up as well actually. So Mackenzie will keep the position there. But so right now, everything is going in Neller's favour at the moment. As here is the 2 Williams of Roller Moitian and Anderson battling into the first corner. Moitian trying to get past his teammate Anderson, and did he do it? I think he did. And yeah, because Anderson went wide onto the curb there. So it's always interesting when that happens. And we've seen in previous years drivers who've gone off there who have lost control and crashed either by themselves or with a teammate. Now here is here's Neller in the lead. Volker's not too far behind him either. Here's Hutter on the back of Sontag running in 8th. The battle, and Hutter goes a little bit wide, but he can't make the move stick there. And as they come through the left, through the right, Jan now on the back of Mackenzie once again, going to try the move yet again. Going to try and go to the inside, which he does. And Mackenzie tries to squeeze him a little bit, but not enough. Jan's on the inside, and surely this must be the move done. Jan on the inside, Mackenzie on the outside, unless Mackenzie can hold it, which he can't, and Jan is through. So good move there by the Chinese driver. Jan up into P4. Mackenzie, could he keep? No, can't quite keep the slipstream. And actually, Jan is in the pits now, as a matter of fact. So there we go. Jan is in, and he comes out. 6.6 second stop. Fuel wise, possibly looks like a 3 stop, I think, for Rick Jan, as we see him coming out of the pits. Sontag is now coming into the pits, the German. So let's see. Sontag so far had a good race, kept himself out of trouble. And as he comes in, but Zorbach at the moment actually will move temporarily into the points. So that's good for Nicholas Zorbach. That he's going to have a heart attack from running so far up the order. So Sontag comes in, changes all 4 tyres. Similar fuel to Jan as well. That could be a 3, a 2. Touch and go, because I mean there's not many laps in this race, but I think probably a 2 would be the best way of doing it, I think. But a slow stop there for Sauber, 8 seconds. As he comes out of the pits. Look at the 2 Toro Rossos there. Gal down in 18th, had a terrible race, mainly because his car keeps braking on him. Byrne is pitting this lap, and so is, I think it was Anderson's pitting as well. Zorbach is now up into 10th, so as I said, he needs to take a screenshot of that, because that's the highest he's run all season at this moment in time. As we look at the rest of the order coming through, Byrne has said, having had a great race so far. Byrne, he's not even that far actually off Volker. He's only what's it say? I think about 8 seconds. It's difficult to see because I'm sitting a little bit away from the screen here. As we look at Byrne about to come in, of course. No, it's actually Roller Moitian, sorry, not Anderson. It is Roller Moitian who's coming in. As we look at Byrne into the pits for his first stop of the day, I would imagine it would be a 3 stop, possibly. Don't know, but the incident between Michael Mocho and George wrote no further action. Not really surprised there, because I don't think that. I think it was an unfortunate racing incident there, concertina effect. So here we are, Byrne in the pits. So here we go. Changes all the tyres. Here we go. 4 tyres off, fuel in. And no, it looks like it's going to be a 2 stop for Byrne. That's quite a lot of fuel they put into his car there. So here we go. That is a lot of fuel Don't know if that's necessarily the right way to go, because fresh tyres are important here. But the question is, where will Byrne come out on the circuit, actually? So he's dropped down to 4th. Moichin is in the pits as well. Let's see how much fuel they put into his car. So Byrne is clearly doing the 2-stop. Moichin, is he going to be doing the 2-stop as well? Yep, he will be. So he's doing the same strategy as what Evan Byrne is. So Moichin comes out of the pits, 6.5 seconds, quite quick. So we look at him coming down towards pit exit. It's quite a long pit exit, of course, and it's a unique pit exit as well, being, I believe, the only pit exit to go under the circuit. As Will Neller actually comes into the pits for his first off, and Volker actually was pretty close behind him. So Will Neller comes in at the moment in time. Everything is going pretty well for him. He's been leading ever since the two Ferraris decided to, well, destroy themselves, like in real life. And so far Neller, he's doing a long stint on this amount of fuel, so he's done the same as what Evan Byrne did. So be interested to see what, well, I think Volker, I don't know how much further he'll go ahead of Neller, but I imagine he'll do the 2-stop as well. So Neller comes out in what position? He's down in P2, but I think, yeah, it'll be P3 because McKenzie's come across the line. It will be P3 because Hutter's only just about coming around the final corner, so Hutter in P4 at this moment in time, but Neller will come out in P3. So the good news for Neller is he'll be in plenty of clear air. There's no one around him really to bother him. So far for Neller, he's just taking it cool. It's very easy for him at the moment. As we look through the rest of the order, his Willow's down in 11th position, trying to recover positions. As we look at Jan trying to make a move on Roberto Gamba. Is he going to make it stick there? Nope, you're not going to go around the outside of turn 1 there, my friend. So he's going to have to wait until either the chicane or the back straight, where that's, well, that's pretty much the main overtaking spot on this circuit. As we look at Jan right behind Roberto Gamba, is he going to make a move here? No, he's not. I have to wait until the back straight. That's the main overtaking spot, or one of the main overtaking spots on this circuit. So he's not going to do it there. So he's right behind. So he's going to surely, he's got the slipstream, so this should be a move. Very easy here for Rick Jan. In the strategy, Roberto Gamba, he's on the inside. Roberto Gamba doesn't put up any defence at all, and Jan is through his Gal sits yet another fastest lap. So just imagine if Gal didn't get called to the beginning in all those instances. He could have easily, I reckon, could have easily been in contention for the win, to be honest. Joseph Willer's now overtaking Tiranen for 10th place, or is he? As Volker actually sets the fastest lap, never mind. There we go. And so, I mean, Volker, I've just realised Volker actually hasn't pitted, and he's just set the fastest lap. So that is very interesting. So Volker clearly, it seems, has still got pace in him. So that is very, very interesting indeed. His car now all over the back of Willow's, who failed to get past now Tiranen. Car trying to go around the outside. He's never going to make the move stick there. So there we go. And so that move is going to be kept, as I think Volker is actually pitting this lap. So at the moment, so we'll see if he comes out ahead of Neller. But if Volker just set that fastest lap just before he pits, that's showing quite some pace from the Ferrari. So I couldn't quite see if he was pitting. I'm pretty sure he was meant to be pitting this lap, I believe. As we look at all the cars coming through the order, Zorbach again running in 9th position. He's going to be having a heart attack. I bet he wishes this race could we could have a shock bit of rain here in Abu Dhabi, because obviously it never rains here. Zorbach actually, speak of the devil, is coming into the pits, and yes, Volker is pitting this lap. So only, I think it was a lap or so ago that he set the fastest lap, Volker, so he's clearly got pace in the locker here. So I wonder, I think he could jump Neller. He might have done the overcut on Will Neller here, so I'd be fascinated to see if he does manage to pull that off or not. But wow, here we are as we look at Nicholas Zorbach coming into the pits, and let's see where he'll come out onto the track. He's doing a long stint as well. He'll be doing the 2-stopper, and as he comes out of the pits, 8.1 seconds, not particularly quick. Volker coming into the pits now, so I'm just interested to see. I mean, Neller is quite far away actually, so I wonder, I think Volker might have done the overcuts on Neller here. So Willer's at the moment in 10th. At this moment in time, he would be out of the title race. Well, at the moment in time, Neller would be winning the championship right now. No, technically he wouldn't actually, because Mackenzie's ahead of him, but at the moment Neller is the favourite, as Carl's trying to make a move on the inside of Willows, and he does. He moves up into 10th position. Willows, having failed to get past now Tiranen, has paid the price and now been overtaken, as Volker is now in the pits. So here we go. He's on actually a lower amount of fuel than what Neller had, so that could work actually. Mackenzie's coming around the final corner, so I think he could come. Actually, no, I don't think he'll come out ahead of Mackenzie, but I'm pretty sure he'll come out ahead of Will Neller. So as Mackenzie comes across the line, and Volker, I imagine he's just coming in the pit exit now. And yep, so Mackenzie does take the lead of this race, but of course he is going on a long stint. And where is Volker? And where is Neller? So Thomas has just come out the pits as well. And Volker's in second. Neller's only just coming around turn 1 now, so Florian Volker has done the overcut on Will Neller and takes the lead of this race. But at this moment in time, Neller doesn't really need to worry about Volker because he's not in the title fight. It's mainly Willows and Mackenzie, but of course Mackenzie is on a longer stint than what Neller is. But Neller will have to overtake Mackenzie on the track, so it could be very interesting to see. It could be very interesting to see what happens here. But I think the top 3. Well, that's not how it's going to be to finish, but well, Mackenzie, Volker, and Neller will finish in the top 3, but in what order is the question? Because Hutter at the moment running in P4, yet to pit, but he's running very high. Hutter doing a very impressive job. As here we are looking at Rick Yan, who's on the back of Evan Byrne in the Renault. This is for 6th position. Anderson just in front for 5th, but Yan all over the back of Byrne. He's surely going to go past him on the straight. Look at the speed that Yan has in that pink Mercedes. He goes past Byrne, and he's going to take 6th position coming into the hairpin. So, although Byrne is on a heavier load than Yan, and I don't know actually if Yan is going to go to the end when he pits. And Mocho has had to go into the pits for a new wing, so he's had a collision or he's gone off by himself. So what has happened to Michael Mocho? But he is at the back of the grid as well, so unfortunately it's been a race of attrition for him. So here we are. He's running in 14th position, and he's got Franco Gamba a little bit ahead of him, but I don't think unless Gamba makes a mistake, I'm not sure. But Mocho coming through, and yeah, he's made a mistake there. He's gone a bit wide, and he's gone over the curb. Okay, he's done well there, but he goes wide here, and well, he simply gets away with it. Yep, loses the wing there, going over that really high curve, going under the hotel, and unfortunately for Mocho, that's compounded his misery. But at the moment, we're looking at this battle for P5. This is between Rick Yan and Julius Anderson. Yan making a move on the inside of the Swede, and he's going to surely make the move, and he's past Anderson, and unless Anderson can hold it around the outside, which he can't, and that is the move complete. So there we go. Byrne a little bit behind, but of course he's on higher fuel than Yan, so it's no wonder that he's so much quicker. But for Yan, it's looking pretty good for him right now. He's having a good race. Anderson himself, actually, who I don't believe has pitted yet. Couldn't quite see if he had or not, but as we look, Frank Gamba's actually in the pits. I saw someone else was pitting on the same lap as well. And it's actually Joel Hutter, actually running in 4th position, having a very impressive race at the moment, is going to be pitting for the first time. Hutter, who you could say has certainly matched his vastly experienced teammate Roke, but Hutter himself, who is actually one of the drivers who's still yet to have a seat for next season. So it's going to be interesting to see if he does get one. I think it would be quite harsh if he didn't get the seat for next season, considering the fact of how well he has performed. And so far in this race, having with his teammate Roke having been taken out, or technically I guess you could say taken out himself, as there's a car out, and it's Roberto Gamba who is out of this race, and that is just coming out of the hotel section there. So what has happened to the Italian driver? Not good news for him. He is out, so he will be scoring no points from this race. But we'll see what happened to him. And was it a crash or was it a mechanical failure as he comes through hotel? And no, it was a mechanical failure. And so there we go. His race is over on lap 22. We're getting somewhat close to the halfway point of this race. As Tiravi now Tiranen, who's had an interesting race to say the least, comes into the pits for the first, for his first stop, I think. In he comes in the bright green helmet, a certain German's favourite colour. If you know, you know. As now Tiranen comes in, and I don't imagine he'll do a one-stop. He'll pit once more, I would think. And yep, so he will be doing one more stop before the end. Lighter amount of fuel, which I think could help now Tiranen, that's for sure. So he comes out of the pits, and he's going to be obviously outside of the top 10. 7.6 seconds, I think that stop was. Not particularly quick, but not bad either. So as we look at the Renault, this is of Evan Byrne, who is behind the Williams of Julius Anderson. As we look at Carr and Willows running 7th and 8th. Gal, who's back up into 10th now, actually, so he's actually pitting this lap as a matter of fact, but he's got briefly back up into the points, having passed his fellow Hungarian Roland Moitian coming into the hairpin there, so that was a good move by Miklos Gal. And Gal, who's shown a lot of pretty good pace through this race, and he's been unlucky the fact that his car has not been very reliable. That's pretty much the reason why. I mean, I think if he didn't have all those problems with his car, I think he easily could have been battling for the podium, possibly even the win, I think. But at this moment in time, Mackenzie is still leading this race, having not made a stop yet. Volker is second, and Neller is third. At this moment in time, Neller wouldn't win the title because Mackenzie is still leading. And as long as Volker wins and Neller's second, he still wins the title. But that's all hypothetical because racing is still going on. We're looking at Franco Camera in 15th, right behind Nicholas Zorbach in the Manor. And as we're looking at Gamma trying to make a move coming through the first few corners, going through turns 2 and then the right hander of turn 3. Neller right now running behind the Sauber trying to lap it. Now here is Florian Volker, who is closed up to the back of Mackenzie. This is good news for Will Neller, as he will take the lead, but of course Mackenzie has not yet pitted. As we're looking at Volker trying to make a move coming into the chicane, not really going to work. So we've got another yellow flag out on the circuit, and who is it? And it's Roland Moitian who's out, and Roland Moitian is out of this race, and looks to be yet another mechanical failure, and it is a transmission problem for Roland Moitian, and very unfortunate for him. He was running just on the outskirts, well, he was running in the points, but now he's getting nothing but a transmission problem, causing him to have an early bath. And so there we go, his race is over, and so he pulls off just by the crowd there. So there we go, that's his race over. We're just about at the halfway point of the race, or we pretty much are. And there is actually the McLaren of Glazebrook, so he joins his friend Glazebrook there. And there we go, that's the car done. And now here is Franco Gamba, who's trying to overtake Zorbach, and he has received a 5-second penalty for overtaking Zorbach under yellow flags. And there it is, right there, and clear as day. So unfortunately Franco Gamba, he gets a 5-second penalty, not good for him. Now here is Migos Gao, who's right behind the manor of Zorbach. Now Jan has just come out of the pits in I think 8th position. Car right now running in 6th. Neller in 3rd, and Neller just take it very easily. I mean, he's on his own. He's pretty much got, as I said, 3rd in the bag, but he would prefer if he had 2nd or even 1st. And oh, there's been an accident. There's been a major accident. Jan is out, and Hutter was involved there. And what on earth has happened? I think that may have been coming out of the pits, coming round the corner. So we need to see another replay of that. That looked quite a scary accident. But Rick Jan is out, and Hutter, who was having a great race, unfortunately is going to have to pit yet again. So we need to see a replay of that, and that was coming out of the pits. We've very rarely seen actually many instances coming out of the pits in Abu Dhabi. That doesn't happen very often, but it has happened today. So we need to see what happened to Rick Jan as the marshal comes and pushes his car away. But as I said, that's not good news for Hutter. But here we saw as Jan coming out of the pits, coming under the circuit now, back onto the normal racing line. So as you see him coming round the and it was just wrong place at the wrong time. Very unfortunate there. So I wonder if we'll see it from Hutter's point of view as well. As here we are looking on board. This was a legitimate battle actually. This has been going on for literally you couldn't have timed that any worse for Hutter if you tried. Just the wrong place at the wrong time. That's very unlucky for him. As I said, him and Jan were in a legitimate battle for position there. So that was still a very scary encounter. And it kind of looks like from that angle in a way that Hutter purposely knocked him off, but it was just trying to take the line there. But I don't know what the stewards will actually make of that. From that angle it looks like it was done on purpose, but as we're seeing yet again another replay, but cause it's not necessarily the normal line I guess you take, but I mean, I don't know, it's tough to say. I'd be interested to see what the stewards think of that one. That was certainly one of the most interesting incidents we've seen this season. Now here is Volker yet again all over the back of Mackenzie, and oh my word, another car comes out, and that's actually Hutter. Just imagine what had happened there had Hutter collided with Mackenzie and taken him out. And oh, look at that, Volker is going to go right around the outside of Mackenzie, who got stuck behind Hutter, who was being lapped, who goes wide there, and Hutter getting involved in absolutely everything right now. And oh my word, but that was the worst possible time for Mackenzie, and Volker just snuck through round the outside there. Mackenzie was being a bit cautious, although Hutter had just come out of the pits. So quite a dramatic overtake there from Florian Volker. You can see he just backed off there, didn't want to go anywhere near Joel Hutter, but Volker said thank you very much and takes the lead back. But that's good news for Neller. But at this moment in time, the title will still be going to Brazil, and Mackenzie now finally laps Hutter. This is actually, now back to normal action, so Mackenzie's going to surely get the first position back. He's actually going to be pitting very soon, Mackenzie. He's, I think, still on the one stop, so far, Mackenzie doing extremely well, considering the fact he is not stopped yet in this race. So he is still, I think, in a legitimate battle for the win here. So Mackenzie is going to take the first position back from Volker, which he does, and the question is, will Volker take it back again? And this is a legitimate battle for the lead here, because they're both on similar amounts of fuel, but of course Volker is on the fresher tyres, whereas Mackenzie has not actually pitted yet. So Mackenzie needs to hold Volker behind for as long as he possibly can, because then there will be a good battle towards the end of this race. So it doesn't look like actually that Will Neller is going to be anywhere near this, it seems, because he just doesn't seem to have the pace, despite the fact he took the lead. He's just not got the pace compared to Volker and Mackenzie, and this is going to be quite a fascinating battle towards the end, I have to say. But Volker all over the back of Mackenzie as Felix Sontag is in the pits for Sauber. So if you look at the Polish and the German driver coming through the last section of the track, we're about to head on to lap 30, heading into the second half of this race. Now look at that, he's 11 seconds behind us, so Neller really doesn't have the pace compared to Mackenzie Volker, but I suppose he's just taking it easy because he knows he's got third in the bag, so he probably thinks he's taking the safe option, but is that necessarily the right option? As we look at Volker all over the back of Mackenzie, I'm not sure Mackenzie can hold on for much longer as they come through turns 1, 2, and now the right-hander at 3, heading towards the chicane. Volker all over the back of Mackenzie. He's not going to make the move into the chicane. There's not many overtakes that you can make there. Now coming through the chicane, now heading towards the hairpin, and he's going to be in the slipstream, so surely Volker's going to make the move unless Mackenzie really defends. The yellow flag's still out, I think, for Rick Jan's car, still being pushed away, as now they're heading down the back straight. Volker in the slipstream. He's going to try and make the move on the inside of Mackenzie, which he does. Volker on the inside of Jay Mackenzie. This is the battle for the lead of this race, and Volker takes the lead back, and I'm not sure Mackenzie's going to have the answer. But of course, they are both going to be pitting very, very soon. So there will still be a battle going on towards the end of this race. But of course, actually, I don't know actually if Neller will be pitting before Mackenzie or not. We should see if that happens or not. But at the moment, Neller's 14 seconds off. He really is taking the safe option, it seems. But as I said, he can, because Anderson's 33 seconds behind him. So this was a battle for P5. This is Carr, who has passed Byrne for P5. Unfortunately, Byrne struggling against the faster cars, because yet again Byrne had another great race. This race could save him a seat for next season, but the question is, where is it going to be? It looked like Byrne had kept the position there, but Carr managed to go around the outside. But at the moment, Volker, you see, look at that, already 3-second gap over Mackenzie in second, and so Mackenzie at this moment in time, he could have second as well, and at the moment the title will be going to Brazil. And I'm pretty sure I can't remember the last season we had where the title didn't go to Brazil. I think it was about 2011, I think. But for at least the last 4 or 5 seasons, the title has gone to the final round in Brazil. So I know 2012 it did when Viggo Holst won, but I'm pretty sure in every race. But anyway, we're looking at Amar Carr, who's all over the back of Julius Anderson, and he was on the back. The keyword, he was on the back of Julius Anderson, but fortunately he has passed him because Anderson's made a mistake. And I think, did Willows go through as well? No, he didn't actually. But now actually Florian Volker is coming in for his final stop of the race, and this is going to be a big pit stop as Julius Anderson is in, and I think Franco Gamba is in as well. I think I saw another driver that's coming in as well. There's several cars coming into the pits on the same lap. Byrne, that's the one I think I just saw as well, and Byrne, who has been overtaken actually by Willows, who just about, I think, was getting through on the inside there, and Byrne goes wide onto the AstroTurf, and Willows says thank you very much. And Byrne oh, that's why Byrne got damage. Oh wow, Byrne got damage on the curb there, so he was going to be pitting soon anyway, but he pitted a little bit earlier than what he expected to, and so unfortunately for Evan Byrne, it's going to cost him a fair bit of time. And he's been unlucky, Byrne, because he's had a great race, but that's unfortunately spoiled what could have been probably an absolutely perfect race, but of course that was Volker in the pits, so Neller does take second place, but of course he will have to pit before the end as well, and I think he's going to be going quite a few laps more than what Volker is, or I should say a lot longer than Volker is, but of course I don't think he's ever going to close up to Volker before the end. And of course Mackenzie is going to be pitting in a couple of laps time as well, so it's going to be interesting to see the ending of this race, the pace of the top three. I mean, as I said, we know what the top three, what drivers are going to be the top three, but the question is what order. So we're looking at Julius Anderson now in the pits for his final stop for Williams. So he comes into the pits, he changes all 4 tyres, and where will he come out on the circuit is going to be the big question. And it is going to be, goes to the end of Byrne is in the pits as well, and actually he gets held up a bit actually, because Byrne coming in with his damaged wing, so he's going to lose quite a bit of time, Byrne, because he has to change his wing, which is going to be frustrating because he held up Anderson. So changes all 4 tyres, puts a new wing on, so he'll be as fresh as anything. As we're looking at Jay Mackenzie, who's coming into the pits this lap as well. So Will Neller will take the lead of this race, and now the thing that Neller really needs is Zorbach launching it down the inside past Michael Mocho, and a great move there by the German, passing the Toro Rosso driver. And actually it was because Mocho had passed Zorbach, so Zorbach then did the favour, or repaid the favour, got back past him. So Mocho made the move into the hairpin. He thought, yes, great, I've done the move, but of course he forgot about that there's another straight after, and Zorbach stayed in the slipstream and goes back past him. So you can see, just gets in the slipstream right now, you can see how quickly his speedometer is going up there in the slipstream, and he just goes to the inside there, thinking that Zorbach wouldn't try and make a move. He did, and Mocho unfortunately has been mugged there. As here we are looking at Zorbach, who, having passed, looking at other replays, this is a little bit further on, so having made the move past Mocho, and he's just gone wide. I think he's going to give the place back to Mocho, which he does. So Zorbach doing all the good work that he'd just done right there. So unfortunately a bit of a silly mistake there from the German. But now Mackenzie is into the pits for his final stop of the race for Mercedes, and this is going to be a big pit stop for him as we look at him coming out of the pits. So Neller will take the lead of this race, but of course he will be pitting. But I wish Neller will be. Actually, the question is actually Volker. Would he come out? Would he still be behind Mackenzie? So will Mackenzie have done the overcut, and will Volker have done the undercut? So as we're looking at them coming out of the pits, so where is Mackenzie? Has he come out yet? Volker still hasn't gone past him, and yes, he has now. So Volker is ahead of Mackenzie, who's just coming out of the tunnel right now. So the question is, will Mackenzie be able to close up to Volker on the fresher tyres? But the crucial thing is actually Carr is ahead of him as well, and I don't know when Carr is pitting, as we're looking at Joseph Willows, who is pitting for his final stop as well, changing all 4 tyres. He'll be going to the end, and so Willows has made a pretty decent recovery, having been involved with his teammate. But of course, at this moment in time, Willows will be out of the title fight, and his teammate is the reason why, because his teammate isn't in the title fight. As we're looking, this is a battle for 7th position. This is between Gal, who's recovered pretty well up into the top 8, considering the fact his car's broken down on him twice in this race. He's all over the back of the Thai driver, and he's all over the back of him, and now Turner goes into the pits, so Gal will go past him, and he will be going a few laps longer, and he will be getting on the fresher tyres. But Gal so far shown some impressive pace, because he had actually, he was setting constant fastest laps at the beginning, and then I think Volker actually set the fastest lap. But so far Gal having a pretty encouraging recovery, but as I said, it could have been so much different had he not gone into the back of Franco Lopez and lost his front wing, because it showed the pace that Gal did have in that Red Bull. He could have easily been, he definitely would have finished in the top 3, I think, Gal, possibly even been in contention for the victory, I think. But as we're looking at the cars coming through, we're looking at Neller at the moment in the leaders race, just going past some traffic. Now Turner will be coming out, I think, just in the outskirts of the top 10, as we look at Neller coming through to complete the 37th lap of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And at this moment in time, he would be the champion, but of course he has to pit, so it's not going to happen. And speaking of not going to happen, it's Nicholas Zorbach finishing a race yet again. So Nicholas Zorbach unfortunately retires from the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. His car lets him down once again. I mean, you got to feel for the guy. You really got to feel for the guy. He's had no luck really ever since he came into the OC. He's only finished 3 of the many races that he started this season. Of course, had he had a bit more luck, maybe he could have had the man seat for next season, but unfortunately it's not happened. And this time it's a puncher for Zorbach, who was actually running as high as 9th this race. It was having a fairly decent race. He was actually going to be pitting late on as well, but yes, so he is going to be out of this race, and there we go. That's his race over. So we haven't got that many cars left still going, I believe. I think we've got about 15 or I think we've got 14 cars racing, I think, still. Speaking of cars, car is coming out of the pits. It was a bit of a slow stop, really, 8.3 seconds. So as we look at him coming down towards the pit exit, it seems eternally long. So the question is actually, where would he come out on track, actually? I'm not sure. But at this moment in time, Volker is still in second place. He's closing the gap rapidly on Neller, who I think needs to close soon, because if he wants any hope of trying to get Mackenzie to beat him to the title, then as what happened here, something happened. And this was Willows battling with Anderson. This was for P5. Willows goes into the back of Anderson, and Willows spins. Not good news. Anderson keeps 5th place, and actually Gal got past Willows and is going to close up to the back of Anderson as well. Neller's still going out on track. He's still not pitting yet. He goes past now Turnen, who's slowed down a lot, and Mocho might take 11th off now Turnen here because he got a terrible run letting Neller through, and Mocho's on the inside and is going to pass now Turnen in towards the hairpin, side by side between the two. And does he make it stick, Mocho? Yes, he does. And now Turnen losing a position to Michael Mocho there. So there we go. Now Turnen not having a particularly great race, I'll be honest. Could have been so much better for him. But here's the battle for 5th position. Gal battling with Anderson, although Gal is going to have to pit once more, and actually he's pitting this lap as a matter of fact. So the question is, would he get past Anderson before he pits? He's still going to, I think, finish in the top 10, Gal, but the question is, he'll be finishing where? Probably maybe about 8th or 9th, I think. As we're looking at Gal all over the back of Anderson, and I bet you wish he could go to the end, because he's clearly got pace in that car, but unfortunately having to pit yet again. And the gap now only 6.8 seconds between Volker and Neller. But the crucial thing is for Neller is Volker's going to be stuck in traffic, and I don't know where Mackenzie was out on the circuit, but he just needs to finish ahead of Mackenzie, and the title is his at this moment in time. As we look at Gal, going to try and make a move on Anderson down the back straight. He's going to make a move on the inside of Anderson. Anderson not letting it through. Gal trying to squeeze on the inside. He's not going to make it stick there, is he? No. And Anderson goes over the curve, goes wide, and Gal will take 5th position, and Willows takes position back from Anderson now. What he wanted to do early, he's finally done it, and it's by an error, as Anderson was struggling to keep Nicholas Gal behind, but he just didn't need to. He should have just let him go, and then he and Willows could have had another battle towards the end, but that has not happened. So Anderson going wide there off the curb, and so there we go. So Gal comes into the pits, and he is going to be pretty quick towards the end, I have to say. So he's down in 8th, and we just come into the pits, and so where's he going to drop? Is he going to drop behind Hutter and behind Franco Gamba, who, by the way, has made yet another great recovery? So as we see Gal coming into the pits, and now finally Will Neller does come into the pits for his final stop of the race, and Neller has taken it very cautiously in this race. Top 3 secured, so he knows that he would finish in the top 3, but I'm surprised he hasn't shown a lot of pace, because I would have thought he would have liked to get the title done in this race so he could relax and have a stress-free final round in Brazil. But hey ho, you know, it's up to the drivers what they decide to do. But as we look at Neller coming to the pits, he drops down to 3rd. He's going to be quite far behind Mackenzie, so I'm not sure if he'll be able to close up to the back of Mackenzie at the end of the race or not. I'm not sure, but we shall see if he does or not. As here we are looking at Neller once again coming through the final couple of corners here, coming into the final corner. As we're looking at Miguel Scow, having just pitted, who's all over the back of the house of Joel Hutter, and he's surely going to go past, and yes he does. He's up into 8th position, so I don't know how far Byrne is ahead of him, but if he's not that far ahead of him, I think Gal could easily get him before the end. As we're looking at the battle for the 8, Hutter is going to try and get back past Gal. Look at the slipstream he's getting, but he's never going to make it through there. He's going to have to concede the position because Gal is on fresher tyres, and Byrne is there, and Gal is... I don't remember how far Gal was. I think he's a little bit ahead. I think he'll be close to the end, to be honest. I think we'll see. But there's a moment in time, Volker is leading, Mackenzie is 2nd, Neller is 3rd, Carr is 4th, Willows is in 5th. But at this moment in time, Willows would be out of the title fight if it finished as it is, as Hutter locks up and goes wide there, coming under the hotel there, and so he made a mistake there, trying to keep up with Miguel Gal, but I don't think he was ever really going to keep up with the Hungarian, being on fresher tyres, and probably got distracted by all the funky lights off the hotel there, going into the night, but yet Hutter goes wide, losing a lot of time. Now here we are looking at the race leader of this race, Florian Volker, taken 3 victories this season, and he looks set to take his 4th as long as nothing goes wrong before the end of this race. And you never know, something could easily go wrong before the end, as we see Michael Mocho and Joel Hutter, Joel Hutter pitting, but it was Etienne Jones and Michael Mocho that were pitting. Hutter now does pit for the final time. I thought he was going to the end, but apparently not, so he drops down outside of the points now, behind now Turunen, who takes 10th position. But at the moment in time, Frank Gamba actually as well, in 9th position. Another great recovery from him. Gal, I'm not sure if he's going to catch up with Byrne towards the end. I think he could be close, because Gal's very quick in that Red Bull car, but it's going to be very interesting to see if he does or not. And Michael Mocho is not going to be finishing this race. His race is over, done and dusted, up in smoke, and so it's been a pretty torrid race for Mocho, to be honest. His race is finished. So there we go. And he's pulled off just at the final corner there. His car will get pushed away, and that will be the end of his race. And he will be probably getting on the next flight to Brazil, I think. I don't think he really had any chance of any points because Hutter had pitted, so Mocho was going to finish outside the points anyway, so pretty much just compounded his misery, really, this retirement. But there we go. Mocho pulling off and having an early bath. So we've only got 6 laps to go. We've not got very many laps left of this race. Volker still leads. He's got a 9-second gap over Mackenzie, so Volker really got the pace. Anderson going past the Sauber there, as Willows going a little bit wide around the first turn there. A little error from him there, but he's going to finish in P5. But at this moment in time for Willows, that's not going to be enough for him to keep in the title race. He's 22 seconds off Carr, so he's never going to catch him unless Carr has a problem before the end. I mean, it's still possible, but I'm not sure. But we're now on the final lap of this race, and Florian Volker, it's going to certainly be... It's certainly going to be... He'll be happy with his victory, but not in the way that he would have wanted, at the expense of his teammate, pretty much. That is the way to put it, because, of course, he had that collision early on in the race with Willows, which got Willows damaged and forced him to pit early on. They lost the lead to Neller, but Volker obviously had the pace. But as I said, I really don't think they would have wanted it to go the way it did. And actually Hutter has caught up and has passed now Turunen for the final point. So unfortunately now Turunen should have easily got points today, I think. But unfortunately has really messed it up by not really driving very well. So there we go. We're looking at Florian Volker heading past the support pits for the 55th and final time. But at this current time, with Mackenzie finishing 2nd and Neller finishing 3rd, the title will go to the final round in Brazil. And once again, it's going to be a fascinating race in Brazil. It always is. I'm so glad that is the final race of the calendar. It always hosts a great race, as Miguel Gal showing his pace yet again, setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, a 1:40.9. That has absolutely decimated the lap record here, set by Mackenzie, which is almost 4 seconds faster. But anyways, we're looking at Florian Volker coming round the final corner for the 55th and final time, and Florian Volker is going to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and take his 4th victory of the season. Congratulations to him. So here is Jay Mackenzie, who's going to come across the line in 2nd place, and as soon as he does, the title will be going to Brazil in 3, 2, 1. He's across the line, and the title will be going to Brazil yet again. But it's going to be a tough ask for Jay Mackenzie. I think he could still do it, but he's going to need a lot of luck, that's for sure. Hutter pipping now Turunen to the final point in 10th. Will Neller coming across the line in 3rd, taking a very safe 3rd position, with Carr actually not that far behind. So Carr actually closed up quite close before the end. So I think if they had another couple of laps, Neller might have been passed by Carr there, but fortunately he wasn't. So we're looking at Etienne Jones about to come across the line in 12th position, and been an okay race for Jones, I guess, but not enough for the points as he comes across the line. And behind him, Joseph Willis. He'll be absolutely gutted, 5th position, and he is out of the title race. It will be between the two Mercedes, and you wouldn't have thought that considering the fact that Neller and Williams has been leading the championship for a fair bit of the season. We're looking at Felix Sonntag set to come across the line in 13th. The big battle behind, actually, as Anderson just holds off Byrne for 6th, and Gal comes across the line in 8th. He wasn't that far off Byrne, I was right. He did catch him, but it was a bit too late. But another lap or so, and Gal would have passed them both, that's for sure. Tomaselli across the line in 14th position. Frank Gamba, yet again, another good recovery into 9th, so he comes across the line, and that is the race over. So we're going to take a look at the full results, constructor standings, and of course the main point, the drivers' standings. And here we go, the full race results. Florian Volker winning the race ahead of Jamie Mackenzie in 2nd, Neller in 3rd, Carr in 4th, Willis 5th, Anderson 6th, Byrne in 7th, Gal 8th, and Frank Gamba, despite his 5-second penalty, finishing 9th. Joel Husser in 10th, with Turvey now turning 11th. Nicholas Gasser in the fastest lap, of course, 140.9, but Joel Husser completing the points in 10th position. Etienne Jones in 12th, with Felix Sonntag 13th, and Paulino Tomaselli 14th, with the following drivers all retiring from this race: Michael Mocho, Nicolas Zorbach, Rick Jan, Roland Moitian, Roberto Gamba, George Roque, Oliver Glazebrook, and Franco Lopez. So there we go. Now we'll take a look at the drivers and the constructors' standings for the final round in Brazil. So the gap Neller to Mackenzie is 23 points. So Mackenzie is going to need a major miracle to win the title, but Willers is just out of reach, and Volker is actually only 1 point behind Willers as well in the battle for 3rd in the championship. Carr up, is going to finish 5th, Gal in 6th, with looking at the rest of the order. Mocho down to 12th, Hutzer, Franco Gamba, Roberto Gamba, now Tiernan, Roque, Glazebrook, Tomaselli, Jones, Sonntag, Pascali, and of course it will be Nicolas Zorbach in last position. So as we look through the order there, but Sonntag, he'll be glad that at least he has a seat for next season, despite the fact this season has not been not been particularly great. That's, I think, the best way you can really describe it, to be honest. But we'll finally take a look at the constructors' standings. So Mercedes and Ferrari, of course, that will also be going. That battle will also be going to Brazil between Mercedes and Ferrari, but Mercedes have certainly got the upper hand. Red Bull will finish in 3rd. Force India and Williams, a good battle for 4th going on there. Toros in 5th, battling with Renault for 6th. Haas in 8th, not too far off. McLaren in 9th. Sauber in 10th, and Manor in 11th position. So there we go. That was the penultimate round of the season in Abu Dhabi. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to, as usual, guys, vote for your driver of the day and give the race a rating out of 10. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you for the final round of the season, the 21st and final round, the Brazilian Grand Prix at Interlagos. Can Will Neller win the title, or will Jay Mackenzie snatch it off him? We'll see you guys for the final round in Brazil. See you later.